Hey, what's up? It's Matt in Japan, and welcome back to my channel. And today I have a very special treat for you from the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy line. This is Transformer Generations Covert Agent Ravage Decepticons Forever Ravage set. Now, it is so cool to have this in hand. I've seen pictures online and everything, but having this guy in hand, just looking at his details in the box, cannot wait to get this guy opened. So first and foremost, let's take a look at the packaging. You have a really cool packaging. And you see Ravage inside the packaging there. And you do see his accessories on the side. You do see the cassette tape Ravage on the side there. And I'm sorry for the glare. You can probably see me in the camera there. But you see Transformers War for Cybertron, Covert Agent Ravage, Decepticons Forever, Ravage 8 and up, Hasbro. You see a really cool sort of faded Transformers logo there, Generations Takara Tomy. So let's take a look at the side here. On the side, you get a very cool piece of artwork of Ravage in his robot mode with his sort of Black Panther head. There he is with the Predacon symbol there. And on the other side, you do get a little bit of a bio here. After the Great War, Ravage was one of the Decepticons granted amnesty and reformatted into a Predacon. As Covert Agent Ravage, he is secretly dispatched to the Earth by the Tripedicus Council during the Beast Wars. He is tasked with terminating the rogue Predacon called Megatron with extreme prejudice. But after the Golden Disc reveals a secret message from his long-dead Decepticon leader, he realizes where his allegiance lies. Decepticons forever! Yeah! So cool. If that doesn't get you pumped, I don't know what will. On the top, you do see just the see-through there. You see the Predacon logo there. Again, Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy. It's coming apart a little bit, I think, because of the humidity here in Japan. It's not helping any. On the bottom, it's more of the same. And on the back, you do see some product images. Not so much product images as some artwork there. And you do see, this is so cool. You see the Beast Wars, and you see Ravage ejecting out of the tape deck and just doing a spin move and just transforming into Ravage himself. Includes 2 figures, 4 accessories, and instructions. So, without further ado, let's get this bad boy opened up and see what Ravage is all about. Alright, so here we have the Covert Agent Ravage, Decepticons Forever Ravage, out of the packaging and onto this really cool backdrop that is included. And very nice, you see Ravage on the left in his bot mode, and then you see the cassette tape in the little pocket there, which is very cool. Really nice inclusion with that. He does come with accessories and instructions, so let's take a look at the instructions. The instructions are actually very nice. They're all done in color. You see a nice color image of Ravage on the front there, and you see the Beast Wars logo and the cassette down the bottom left. And it is nothing that we haven't seen before. Heavily based on the Netflix or the Kingdom Cheetor mold, and pretty much, not a lot to see with the instructions, although it is very nice that they did them in color and it looks very, very easy to follow. Also, it is included the instructions for the tape, the cassette. So very cool inclusion there. So that is the instructions. And he does come with weapons. Let's start with the cassette Ravage. Just call him that for now for easy understanding. So the cassette Ravage does come with his missile pods here that just plug in, and they're done in a really nice chrome and very nice detail and a little bit of hollowness on the bottom, but it is very nice. And there's 2 of these, and they just plug in on either side. So let's just take the cassette out now, and they just plug in these little holes. They're meant for when he's in robot mode, but we'll just plug them in here so you can just see how they look there on him. And we'll get into the detail of that in a second. And then the Ravage figure does come with 2 blasters, and they are exactly the same. But just getting in close, it is done in a black plastic with some really nice silver paint and some really cool detail there. Really liking the way these blasters came out. You do see that little bit of detail on there. So very, very cool. And he can hold those very easily. So I'll just take him off the stand here and plug those guys in either hand. So he's got some dual weapons there. Very, very cool. This guy is looking really nice so far. So let's just take the weapons out and let's get into, let's do the cassette first. Let's do that guy first. So I'll take the weapons off the cassette and get into detail. Now, just picking this guy up, there's definitely some die cast on this figure. It has a nice weight to it. So taking a look at the details, done in a black plastic with some very nice silver paint highlights. And you do see the MC60 from the Micro Change series there. It says Japan. Some very cool paint to emulate that tape cassette look. And then you do see a Decepticon logo done in purple up there, and much the same on the other side. Some very nice silver detail. And I believe the legs here are in die cast, because I can feel it already. So just getting him back there, and we'll just transform him in a sec. Just as a quick comparison, I have Ram Horn here, and just as a quick comparison with cassette tapes, there they are side by side. So very, same exact size as an old school cassette. So there he is. So very cool. So actually just gonna put him back there. We'll get into transformation in a sec. And let's take a look at the details on Ravage. Now this is the main event right here. I'm just gonna take his weapons off. Now this is heavily based on the Cheetor mold, but the head is very cool. You see some really piercing red paint for the eyes there. Some very nice sculpt work on the head. Very, very cool. Loving the detail with the fur and everything. And going down, this guy's paint job is just immaculate. So nice. You get some really beautiful silver paint on the chest and the neck there, and some nice gold paint going down. And again, you get some nice red accents there and silver. Going down the legs, again, some more gold and silver on the legs. And you can, pretty much tell where we got the cues from the Cheetor mold. I think the whole lower leg section is exactly the same. And not much on the arms. The arms are painted, the upper arms are painted in the silver. Everything else is just done in a black plastic. And I also do believe, I think the hands are the same. We'll bring in Netflix Cheetor here in a moment. And it does have the Predacon symbol in red there. And going on the back, now his legs are just kind of, his Panther legs are kind of just sticking out. They don't really fold up, kind of like the Cheetor, the Netflix Cheetor or the Kingdom Cheetor. And also his tail is just hanging out, but that is actually part of the look, part of the character. And you see some beautiful detail with the fur and everything there. So overall, just a really, really good looking figure. Just loving the deco, the black and the silver, a little bit of gold accents. It's really, really, really nice. Incredible. This figure is so cool. So bringing in Netflix, I'm going to use the Netflix Cheetor as a comparison here. So you can see sort of the differences and the similarities. Looks like the whole upper torso has been retooled. Also the main, sort of the crotch part there has been retooled. I think as far as the legs, the upper legs, looks like just the lower legs have been used or reused. Everything else looks very different. So just getting in close here so you can get a better detail. I thought the hands were resculpted. It does look like the hands are the same. They might be a little bit different. It's kind of difficult to tell though, but definitely the forearms have been resculpted, and you can definitely see the differences there. So anyways, let's get down to the details here. We're gonna take, I'm just gonna take the backdrop away, and we're gonna get into articulation with Ravage and also the cassette tape. All right, so the articulation for Ravage here, let's take a look at that. His head is very limited. It can look side to side, but there's not much else. It can go up a little bit, but that's because of transformation. So if you kind of put it up too much, you're going to take this whole piece back there, as you can see. So there's not a whole lot of range on the head. So basically side to side and just a tiny bit of up and down, but basically because of transformation, you can do that. On the arms, you have a lot of range here. You have a very nice tight shoulder joint here that his arms can go out like that, about that far up. And it can do the full 360 there. And you have a upper bicep swivel, which is very tight on mine. I'm not even exaggerating there. That's very tight. You have a 90 degree at the elbow, but also you have a double hinge at the elbow because of transformation. So if we just take the elbow there, and you can see that is it on a double hinge there, so because of transformation. So there is a lot of articulation at the elbow there. And getting that situated here. This is, again, this is very tight on my copy, so very nice. Now there is a wrist swivel there, again, much like we saw on the Cheetor figure. So a lot of articulation on the arms. Let's get his arms out there. Now as far as waist articulation, there is waist articulation, but you kind of have to move his back legs out and his tail up just a little bit. So what you want to do is do that to allow for some clearance And there is a waist swivel there, very nice waist swivel. And again, very tight on my copy. There's nothing at the upper thighs. It is on a hinge there, so you can move it. He can kick forward that much. He can kick back, not a whole lot. It does get hindered by this part here, so it can't kick back. He can kick out that much, so he can do the full splits like so. And then he does have a knee swivel, and he has about a little less almost than a 90-degree bend at the knee, so not a whole lot of knee articulation. And then just much like the Cheetor figure that we saw, he does have forward and back on the foot, and also the ankle rocker joint there side to side. So very articulated figure, much like the Kingdom and the Netflix Cheetor. And that's about it. So just putting everything back here, just putting his tail back, putting this back here. And again, I'm just showing you the back of Netflix Cheetor. I kind of do like how the back legs, the hind legs sort of fold up like that. And it's a lot cleaner look. As it is with the Ravage figure, it just sort of hangs down. And it is a little visible sort of between his legs there. So I'd say that's kind of the only thing I really don't like. But other than that, great articulation and just a great looking figure overall. So we're going to put that guy down and just bring in Cheetor again for just a quick comparison there. So there they are side by side. And bringing in the other Ravage, cassette tape Ravage. So here we have them all transformed. And I've never actually owned a G1 cassette Ravage before, so this is my first time, and very, very cool. Again, you can see the little bit silver for the eyes, a little bit of sculpted detail there. You do have the Decepticon symbol there, and the missiles just fit on either side. You have his tail there that can sort of go up and down. Not a whole lot of articulation on this guy, kind of what you would expect. But these are, just to confirm, these are all die cast, and it feels great in my hands here. Nice, heavy, nice original sort of G1 feel to it. Very, very cool. So really loving this guy. And just a very quick comparison, here is G1 Ramhorn for a quick comparison in their Panther and Rhino modes. So we'll put Ravage next to Ravage and see if we can just get Ramhorn in the shot there as well. So there they are. Just panning the camera back a little bit just to get you some size comparisons there. So let's get the Ravages transformed into their other modes. Actually, mainly the Covert Agent Ravage. We've already seen the transformation for the cassette tape. Okay, so here we have Covert Agent Ravage all transformed into his Panther mode. So let's take a look at his details. Now, as far as his head sculpt, it is the exact same as we saw in robot mode. The only difference is that we can open up his mouth, and you do see that there is some nice silver paint for his teeth, and there's a little bit of touch of red paint for his tongue. So that is very cool. He does have that nice silver accent on the top of his head there, and very much similar to what we saw in robot mode. Now, the transformation from the upper part was totally different. You can actually see on the back here where his arms clip in on the back there, whereas Cheetor's arms sort of hang down underneath his belly. And so the whole lower half is exactly the same as Cheetor, but the upper half was very different. So very cool, very sleek look. Really loving the look of this guy. You see some really nice detail on the fur, and pretty much, you know, the same legs and everything as Cheetor, same tail. He does have weapon storage, which is very nice. So basically these just clip on. There's a slot here and there's a peg on the side of the gun. So those just clip in like that, and very firm and very tight. So very cool. They almost look like blasters to give him some sort of extra speed for running. The underbelly here, you know, you do see a lot of the robot kibble, but it's actually very, very nice, pretty clean. You do still see the feet hanging out there, but there's not much that can be done about that. Overall, just a really nice, sleek looking Panther mode, and very cool. As far as articulation goes, not a whole lot. You know, what you'd expect from the Cheetor figure is the same here. The mouth can open and close. There's a little bit of articulation on the mouth. And the head, again, it's very similar to the robot mode, just goes side to side with a little bit of up and down there. So you do get a little bit of articulation on the head. And the legs, as we saw on Cheetor, can go out like that. And you do have a little bit of movement here. And the paws are on a ball joint, so you can get some movement there. And the same on the back legs, very similar to Cheetor. Not really going to go into much detail there. And the piece, the tail piece, is actually fixed here. There's actually on a hinge, so it can go up and down. Unlike Cheetor, it can't be pulled off to use as a sword. He already has his weapons here, so he doesn't need that. So that is just something to be careful of. Don't try and pull that out because it is just on a hinge right there. So that is another difference. So just bringing in, actually, instead of instead of Netflix Cheetor, I already have Kingdom Cheetor all transformed. So just as a quick comparison there. And there they are. Ravage almost looks like a little bit bigger. He looks like a little more beefier, a little bit meatier. I don't know. I think they're the exact same, but the Ravage just seems like a little bit bigger. So there is a quick size comparison between Kingdom Cheetor and the new Covert Agent Ravage. So let's take Cheetor out of there and let's bring in both Ravages here just for a side-by-side. There we go. And yeah, so happy to have this set in hand. It's a great set. I highly recommend it. He looks so awesome in both modes. And the fact that we get a sort of classic G1 tape cassette of Ravage with the weapons and everything, that is just an added bonus. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about this set. Definitely pick it up when you guys see it, when it comes out. And yeah, thanks for watching. This has been Matt in Japan. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Decepticons forever!